It was something that happened in Thailand many, many years before. About age of 21, I just dreamt of travelling. Right, poor young kid from Queensland just couldn't wait. So I saved up some money and I went backpacking through Thailand. I know, like a hairbraid away from the perfect stereotype.
It was my dream because as a poor kid, all I wanted to do was get out of this place. And I found myself on an overnight train from Chiang Mai in the north coming down into Bangkok. I woke up in the morning on the train as the smell of Bangkok started to fill the cabin, and
as I woke up, I saw a lady. She was walking down the middle of the aisle. She had a uniform on and a little wooden box.
She was walking down the carriage and she was collecting money from passengers who'd had a meal on the train overnight. I'd had a meal, so I pulled out my wallet. And in my dazed and groggy state, I opened it and my heart sunk. I had no cash. It became incredibly apparent that the wooden box wasn't PayWave enabled, and I was going to be in a bit of trouble here. The language barrier, the tiredness, the anxiety, all of it started to well up. And it didn't make sense, but I started to get really, really agitated and worried and anxious, and she must have seen this. She must have seen this in my face. And at that moment, she did something extraordinary. She looked at me, then turned around and walked back down the carriage. She went to a little compartment and pulled out a purse. She took out 300 baht, 10 Australian dollars. She looked at me, put it in the wooden box. As she walked back past, she just touched me on the shoulder and kept on walking.
I don't know how much money you make walking up and down the trains. It's not enough.
It's not going to be enough to pay for some stupid kid. But in that moment, she showed leadership. You see, in that moment, she saw someone who needed help. She saw someone in distress and she took action. And that is what leadership is all about. She saw an opportunity to connect and make a difference in someone's lives. And she decided to take it. These moments of understanding, these moments of leadership, they don't have to be big.
I never got to say thanks to her. Never knew her name. But the tiny things we do will absolutely change people's lives, and they can change the world.
But a few years later, a good friend of mine said, "Hey, we're starting to do this charity bike ride in Thailand. Would you like to come?" Oh, you bet I did. Over the last 15 years, I've cycled about 10,000 kilometres across Thailand, raising almost $500,000 to support homes and orphanages in Thailand. And it was all inspired by someone I'll never get to thank. I want you to know there are going to be tiny little moments where you get the opportunity to demonstrate leadership. These moments of understanding, these moments of leadership, they don't have to be big. They don't have to be massive. They don't need a grand structure and strategic change. They just need leaders to step up. That ripple can change the world. Those little actions will change the world. That's what leadership is all about. These tiny little things we do. There is this beautiful Buddhist phrase that 1,000 of candles can be lit from a single candle, and the life of that candle will not be shortened. If we need nothing else right now, it is far more empathy, understanding, and compassion in the world. And so my real challenge for you tonight and your audiences going forward is, whose candle will you light today?